Hi everyone. We are fighting with the HDMI technology in this moment. Yes, not yet. Normally it should be there. Ah no. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Perfect. Can you please take this? Thanks. Okay. Hi everyone. Thank you for attending in this late hours at Sub0. So I will be talking about Substrate project success. I am a founder of CCTF, which is a company and a DAO organizing hackathons, events. We have many years of history from Web 2, then we transited to Web 3. I have seen many projects that was born and also many that died and disappeared throughout the whole cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, blockchain space. I started in 2013, and I'd like to share some experience and what I have seen during the last decade. And I started a couple of years ago with Polkadot, became head ambassador. And the reason I chose Polkadot is because of the technology and the community. Because I think Polkadot is unique in having a super good community that is still active in the bear market and provides way more possibilities when you are just a small person in the ecosystem, and Polkadot provides you actual possibilities to step up. I started sometimes to talk about life in Web3 because what we do with CCTF, my friends, my partners in the ecosystem, and everyone is making life happen in Web3. So the agenda today is all focused on Substrate-based projects and how to get from the idea to delivery. So we start with the vision. We look into technical feasibility, confirming with the community, figuring out if the market actually needs this idea that we are working on. Then, of course, you need to survive, potentially scale if you need to scale, and don't forget to stay legal. Some projects, unfortunately, forget this. And yeah, you will need strong presence. And even more important, real ROI. I tell you in the end what is this. And during the presentation, you will see some bullet points, some kind of lists which you can take with yourself and ask the questions about your own project if this applies to you, and go through the list. Thanks, Gabo, for the messages. So we start with an idea. There are many ideas around the Polkadot and Web3. Many enthusiastic people coming up that want to do something great. But unfortunately, most of the ideas are short-lived. They just disappear next day, or maybe you had this idea while you were drinking, and next morning it's gone. Maybe it was a really good idea, but you need something more. So when you really feel that something could be working, something could make sense, and there is potential, desirability, viability, and feasibility, start working on this vision. This is not something that you just come up with in minutes or hours. Sometimes it takes weeks and months to get to this point where your vision is mature enough. And you need to ask yourself if you actually need a blockchain, or you need a dapp, or what kind of project you want to build. Because I've seen many projects in the ecosystem that just shifted to some other technologies because they had a different fit. They were fitting into different environments. So designing the vision is one of the key things you need to take care of first. And coming to this question, do you need a blockchain? Do you need a dapp? Or can you just use cryptography? Like an example we did in past hackathons, we had a problem for the entrance. We wanted to give some NFTs and some tickets. We're like, okay, do we really need a dapp for this? Do we need any kind of complicated infrastructure? No, we just solved it with cryptography. We gave a secret to the attendees. The attendees brought the secret. There was an app on the phone. It didn't even need to have a Web2 kind of backend, just cryptography. The host checked if the secret was present. Secret was present, you get the ticket, it was burned, done. So nothing fancy was needed. So sometimes you just need simple solutions and don't need to overcomplicate it. I recommend looking into the talk from Ben Greenberg. He presented a really, really good talk about choosing between dapp and blockchain in Polkadot Prague. See, because I have only 25 minutes, I don't want to go into detail, but I wanted to emphasize that this is one of the most important things you should be looking into when you start your project. And it's many things. It can be social behavior, culture. In some culture, people want to have their own stuff running. They want their own dapp. You can't really convince them that yeah, you can use someone else's product. No, they want their own. Some of our clients we work with, they told us, no, we will doing multiple blockchains. We're like, we don't recommend this, but this is how culture works here. This kind of department will want his own stuff. We're like, okay, you can do this. Might be not recommended. Up to you. But you need to think about the next slides and how resource enthusiastic it is to run a Substrate-based project. First of all, you need someone who keeps the vision alive. I call this person a soul keeper. It can be the CEO, the project leader, you call it whatever. There needs to be at least one or a couple of people who bring the message to people, who stand up on stage, who stand in a front line and go out and bring booths to conferences and so on. This is more like higher level stuff, right? You need a good plan. You need a feasible architecture and clear goals. So once your vision is clear, once you know what you want to do, you need to have a good plan. I really like to draw topologies because once you build a substrate topology, you can pinpoint the parts. Okay, this will be part which is responsible for doing service X, and you can pinpoint who is developing that. Then you can make analysis, how does this help maybe this service on the marketing, or can be communicate about this. So a really high level of transparency and overview on the project. If you look at, for example, Crucial DAO project, we deliver through Web3 Foundation grants, and you look at the Git repository, then you will see this kind of topology. It's a good example, I think, where you can start with planning. So visualization, I think, is a super cool tool to make it happen. Not just code and brainstorming and meetups, but make it look like a topology. Of course, you will need really good developer team. I'm a believer that you don't need like hundreds of developers, not even 50, not even 30. Probably like 5-10 developers, but top-notch developers will deliver an outstanding project. And that's what I have seen in the last decade, that the big and top companies projects, they only had like one strong core developer team, 3 of the guys who are like top-notch, maybe some of the ex-Parity members who worked as Substrate developers. I've seen this in quite a few ecosystems, and they give a huge push. They know the code base way better, and then you can have some other top really good developers from the ecosystem who are making your vision happen. I recommend creating ambassador program, engaging with the community, because the more you engage with the community, the more help you get from the community. So as I started this talk, that I think Polkadot is unique. This is a unique chance for every project to be more active with the community and get, I'm not saying it's free help, but you can actually go on Matrix. You can ask your developers to go on Matrix, talk about problems with Substrate. Hey, I developed this and that. I'm stuck. Can you please help with that? And people are super open. You don't really have this in many other ecosystems. Definitely not in Web 2. Maybe in the Rust communities. Rust people are really nice, actually. But in Polkadot, I feel that we get way more help. And yeah, long-term lively presence and desirability. It's super important that you don't just have a project that is technically awesome and works and fast, but people need to use it, right? People need to like it. You need to approach the target group, and they will hopefully, keep it running and use it. And that's, well, I'm not including marketing here because I'm not really a fan of Web3 marketing at this point. Maybe it will be different in 5 years. But now I think the best you can do is to focus in community, clear communication, and being enthusiastic and believing in the projects. Because there is a small sign here that all this won't work without the belief and will of the people who are working on these projects. I've seen so many hackerspace projects that people believe that, oh, we will change the world, this will be awesome. But they had like weak will and it went away and it never happened. So you need to keep up with your project. You need to really, really believe in this. And if you don't, it will be just another GitHub repository. Maybe you created a hackathon project. Problem with hackathons very often is that we have like super cool ideas, super cool implementations. They stay there forever on GitHub or other Git because nobody has the actual drive and will to make it happen. So you need to go on and push. So you have the idea and you want to go out with it to the community. You can talk on Matrix, Polkadot forums, Polka assembly discussions. You can actually go through this list and check with the community and see what they are telling you, what is the feedback, because there are outstanding people there who know Substrate internals, who know how the community works, and you do not need to pay expensive consultancy for companies who tell you the same. It's, again, question if you take this step to sit down and install Matrix, join the groups, or register a forum. That is not really the most modern technology, but that's how it works here. Go to meetups, meet people alike, and talk about the idea. Confirm that this is something desired by the community, because if it is, you will get a big help from Polkadot. And if you get some feedback, and of course, it won't be like everyone happy with the idea, but you collect the ones that actually make sense. You go out and do some market analysis because you want your project to survive. You want your project to make sense. In case of Substrate, I think we have a big advantage here that Substrate-based blockchains easily outperform any other blockchains. Just like Polkadot, fixed 6 seconds transaction time. Where do you have this? You don't really have many other top blockchains where you can just send a dot and in 6 seconds it will be there on the other wallet. So we have like a lot of advantages. You can look into customization. We can have off-chain workers running and so on. But the question is again about this project. Who needs it? And would they actually pay for this or use it? There are two different models. Once you sell something, they pay for it, or you convince people to use your product and then you take some data from them or whatever. So they won't always pay directly for the usage, but they will still need to confirm the requirements. So after you get the feedback, you talk to people, hopefully your target groups. Sometimes it worth talking to some people outside of the targets. Look outside of the box and collect data and then figure out based on the data, collect raw numbers, how many people liked it, who said that they would buy it or use it, or who said it's not a good idea. You can do many kind of success metrics. If you look at, for example, Polkadot proposals, I think there are not all of them, but there are some good ideas how to do metrics on market need. The reason I'm not recommending Web2 or traditional market research is because this is a very different ecosystem. Not just Polkadot, but Web3, many things are different. Just like Web2 marketing is not working in Web3. If you do Web2 marketing in Web3, it's dead. It won't work. If you do the same with market needs, it probably also won't work. So you need to end with the conclusion. It's a bit hard to translate because I'm from Hungary. We ask miből lesz pénz. It would in English translate to what will have been making us having money. Pretty quirky sentence, but it's basically about how to create cash flow and what is the thing that will actually make you money on the long run. So what is the actual activity that you are doing that will keep the project alive? It might be not just about money, but this is very important to have it. And super easy thing. People just forget, oh, we need money to develop things. It's not, you can't really bring projects to life without having any money. It's just part of this life, so don't forget that. Survival, growth, and legal. Growth is a big debate. Do you need to grow? Do you need to make it big? Or is it just fine as it is? There are actually, in CCTF, we have a security auditor team. It's a couple of people. We don't want to grow it. This works fine as it is. This is not our main business, and we don't need to grow in this. That's fine. So don't get into the mistake that it's a must to be big and changing the world. You need to find the right size for you. And survive. With belief, well, I would actually change this to persistence and money, but still, you need to figure out a good plan on how to persist. If you are here, probably that's a good sign because you are here in the bear market when most of the people are gone because crypto is not good anymore and the numbers are, I don't want to use, swearing, but you know what I mean. So, you need to have a plan when the market breaks, you still stay alive, even on the long run. And this comes with a plan which includes having bare minimal expenses. Or you take bigger expenses and take higher risks and probably fail. Legal is a big monster here. I strongly recommend having a good Web3 lawyer. Not easy to get one, but there are few around. Because, again, I've seen too many projects who built something cool, succeeded, got a lot of funds, and then they started to think too late about the legal part, and they just said, oh, we are a DAO, we might or might not have a company behind that. We might have some issues with this SEC or maybe my home country or wherever. So this is something that you should do in advance. And of course, tax. Calculate with that as well. I brought a couple of examples that I think are delivering in a positive way, and that can be good examples. Of course, Polkadot, especially the on-chain governance, are unique feature that our ecosystem is governed through on-chain means, and SEC or other legal entities are not coming and saying, oh, this guy, we take him, or we take this company because he's controlling Polkadot. They couldn't actually take anyone out of Polkadot saying that this person is controlling it. It's a really good example. And this is really good for these markets because we are not just surviving, we are doing more. We are building the ecosystem. We are still active, development and event-wise. We have a lot of meetups going on. People talk to each other, making connections. And I think that's pretty persistent. It's really, really good. It's a lively system. again, even if we are in the bear market. Imagine how will this go up when the next market is coming. Project I started in, well, not in a physically garage, but actually at home behind my laptop, was just like a small CTF captured of like game. I never imagined that this will be something big or something that grows. But we brought the first, well, original cryptocurrency is the flag, that's the name. And now cryptocurrency is kind of Web3. So we started to build this CTF games with some hacker friends from Hackerspace Budapest. We got some sponsorship, then we started to do some hackathons, and we organized some of the biggest events last year that are Web3 security related, and also super cool hackathon in Budapest that was from the paid by the Polkadot event bounty. And of course, all the ecosystem teams who were interested in the hackathon or were in the regions, we had 15 partners, they joined. It was like, I was surprised, but looking back at the story, it started in 2019, it was one of the things that we had bare minimal expenses. I had no employees. It was just a couple of us developing something cool. Then we get some funds and sponsorship. We were smart with money, and it kept going on. And it was original Solidity based, and now we are actually transiting this to, well, we will see if it will be a pallet, maybe combined with Crucial blockchain, or we will do it with Gear. It's under research. But the point is that this project is going well, and now we are doing way more things. We have more teams, and things are fine. And another project that I like to show to you is the Mosaic chain. You can see the boot. It's actually the first appearance in the Polkadot ecosystem because they transit from Binance to Polkadot, and there was a research on how to move the project on. They had a cool dapp that worked out, brought positive feedback from the community, and Mosaic team decided to build on top of Substrate because they saw that the performance, the whole ecosystem, and everything they want to build would be the best here, and also to become a parachain and deliver token baskets, cross-chain token transfers, and so on. So you can see these guys at the booth. I think it's a good example because what I have just explained so far, they basically went through and checked everything. And for me, someone who makes this extensive research, looking at not just the technical architecture, but the feasibility, the market, the ecosystem, and choosing the best way, that's not happening too often. And they have the legal background as well, which is pretty nice. So here are some resources for your Substrate-based projects. Community, Web3 Foundation grants. I think that's one of the most straightforward thing you can go with. It's something that I would say is way easier to get through compared to event bounties or treasury proposals, which are probably the hardest to get through a treasury proposal. But you can easily see the GitHub, you can see examples, and you just need to create a clear documentation about what you are doing, and this can help you moving on. The Substrate Builders program, I think it's also a big help for all the projects because highly skilled people from Parity can help your projects moving on, and I think now you can also get some help with the security audits because there's a new program related to security audits. I think you can get back 80% of the price of the security audits, and the Builders program can help with this. Of course, event bounty and treasury for your events or for your development generally. Hackathons and the Web3 job market. I left these two at the end because these are the points where you can actually go out, look for people, ask people to contribute something to your project, or even hire them. I think hackathons are really, really good examples to make project happen and also to involve. As a project, joining a hackathon is not expensive. If you get a partnership with a hackathon, well, my hackathons that I'm organizing and what I've seen in the ecosystem, no one is really asking for money to add a track. We didn't ask Kilt to be there at the hackathon and say, oh, okay, Kilt, you can pay us X money so there is a track so the guys will be developing for you. No, it's people are super friendly there. Everyone wants to build the ecosystem. It's not about competing with each other and taking money from each other. It's building Polkadot. So I really recommend going for hackathons or participating or being partner with hackathons as well. That's it. I hope you enjoyed and it helps you to bring your Substrate project to real life. My time just went to 0. So do we have time for questions?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so if anyone's got any questions, well, first of all, give it a round of applause for 6 as well, by the way.
Thank you.
And I just want to say I went to his hackathon in Budapest last December, and it was probably one of my favorite ones I've ever been to. So yeah, just want to say that. Okay, has anyone got any questions? No questions, a thorough presentation. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, 6, thank you very much for listening today. Thank you.